That night, when I took the wallet my husband had forgotten at home to the airport, I thought I was just doing my duty as an attentive wife. Upon arriving at the terminal right at midnight, the driver of the rideshare I had ordered suddenly locked all the doors. With a tense voice, he said, "Do not get out here. Please, trust me." For 3 seconds, I couldn't breathe. The airport curbside was right outside my window. Bright, quiet, ordinary. Nothing looked dangerous. Nothing looked strange. I turned to the driver, confused, expecting some kind of explanation. Instead, he kept staring straight ahead, knuckles bone-white around the steering wheel. "Unlock the doors," I demanded, trying to keep my voice steady. He didn't. Instead, his eyes flicked toward the rearview mirror. Not at me, behind me. As if something outside the car had just shifted. "Whatever you do, ma'am," he whispered, "don't open this door." My heart slammed against my ribs. "Why? What's going on?" He swallowed hard, Adam's apple jerking. "They're watching." Who? Who was watching at an airport drop-off zone at midnight? I scanned the surroundings, but nothing looked abnormal. Just a few passengers rolling suitcases, a security officer talking into his radio, a shuttle bus pulling away. Then the driver did something that chilled me more than the locked doors. He slowly reached into the glove compartment with shaking fingers and pulled out my husband's boarding pass, folded, creased, as if it had been opened many times, as if he had been holding it long before I entered the car. My breath caught. "How do you have that?" I whispered. He didn't answer. He just looked at me through the mirror, eyes filled with panic, and something else I couldn't place. Recognition? Pity? Warning? "Ma'am," he said softly, "I wasn't supposed to be your driver tonight." A cold ripple moved down my spine. "What do you mean?" He exhaled sharply, as if fighting the urge to tell me the truth. "Your husband," he started, then stopped himself, shaking his head. "I shouldn't say this. Not here." Outside the car, a black SUV rolled to a stop behind us. Its headlights stayed on, harsh and glaring, illuminating the back of our vehicle. The driver stiffened. His voice dropped to a tight whisper. "Don't look behind us. Don't move. And whatever you think you know about your husband, you don't." My lungs froze. The door locks stayed down. And in that moment, I understood one thing with terrifying clarity. I wasn't being kept inside the car for my safety from him. I was being kept inside for my safety from someone else. The black SUV behind us didn't move. It just sat there, engine running, lights burning into the rear window like a silent threat. "Who are they?" I whispered. The driver didn't answer. His jaw tightened, and he adjusted his rearview mirror as if trying not to be obvious. Whatever he saw made every muscle in his face go rigid. "Okay," he muttered under his breath. "They got here faster than I thought." Faster than he thought? My stomach twisted. "I need you to listen to me very carefully," he said, his voice low, urgent, and trembling. "When I pull forward, don't turn your head. Don't look at them. They'll know." "Know what?" I breathed. "That you're aware." He shifted the car into drive. The SUV's headlights blinked once. Slow, deliberate. Almost like a signal. The driver inhaled sharply. "Damn it. They want us to move first." The car rolled forward. Every hair on my arm stood on end as the SUV followed, not close enough to be suspicious, close enough to send a message. "Can you tell me what's going on?" I asked, voice cracking. "I'm trying to keep you alive," he said simply. My pulse skipped. There was no hesitation in his tone, no attempt to scare me, just the plain, terrifying truth. We turned into a lane away from the main terminal, heading toward a quieter drop-off point. The SUV followed, matching every turn with perfect precision. "Please," I whispered. "Just tell me why they would follow us." The driver didn't speak for several seconds. When he finally did, his voice was quiet and controlled, like a man choosing his words carefully. "Because of your husband." Cold dread crawled up my throat. "What about him?" He shook his head. "No, not here." "They'll hear." "Here?" I repeated, heartbeat thudding. "We're in a car, and they're right behind us." The SUV's headlights flashed again, 2 short bursts this time. This time, the driver didn't move. He stopped the car. Dead still. My blood ran cold. "Why did you stop?" I whispered. "Because that signal means they want to check who's inside." My chest tightened. "So then go!" We can't," he said. "If I run, they'll box us in. So what do we do?" He slowly lifted his hands from the wheel and placed them on his lap. "We wait," he said, "and pray they don't approach the window." But they did. The SUV doors opened. Two men stepped out, both wearing plain black clothes, both moving with the chilling calm of people who knew exactly what they were doing. One headed toward the front of our car. The other slowly approached my side window. My heart slammed into my throat. The driver whispered without moving his lips, "Don't look at them. And don't speak, no matter what they say." Footsteps approached, stopped. Knuckles tapped lightly against the glass beside me. Tap, 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 and then a calm male voice muffled through the window said, "Ma'am, we need you to step out of the vehicle. Your husband sent us." The words hit me like ice water. Your husband sent us. For a moment, everything inside me went still. My breath, my thoughts, even my fear. The man's voice was calm, professional, too controlled, like someone who practiced sounding trustworthy. The driver beside me didn't move. Not a blink, not a breath. His stillness terrified me more than the men outside. "Ma'am," the voice repeated, "we just need a moment of your time." The driver whispered, barely audible, "Don't respond." A faint click sounded outside, like someone adjusting an earpiece. "Mrs. Carter," the man said next. I froze. He knew my name. The driver's hand twitched. "Damn it," he whispered. "They're faster than I thought." My pulse hammered so loudly, I was sure the entire car could hear it. The man outside tapped the window again. Gentle, polite. "Please open the door, or we'll open it for you." The driver exhaled sharply. "Okay, time's up." Before I could ask what he meant, he pressed something beneath the steering wheel. A switch I hadn't seen. All the doors unlocked at once. The click echoed through my bones. "Oh my God," I breathed. "Why would you unlock the doors?" "Because," he murmured, eyes locked on the mirror, "this is the only way we survive the next 30 seconds. Suddenly, he threw the car into reverse. The engine roared. The SUV behind us jolted as our bumper slammed into theirs. The man outside my window shouted, stumbling back as the car launched forward again. "Hold on!" the driver shouted. I grabbed the seat as the sedan shot forward down the lane, weaving past a trolley, a security cart, and a row of parked vehicles. The men behind us scrambled back into their SUV. "They're following!" I cried. "Of course they are!" the driver yelled. "You think they're here for your husband? They're here for you!" The car swerved sharply, tires screeching. My shoulder slammed into the door. Pain flashed white across my vision. "Why me?" I shouted. He didn't answer, just kept driving, eyes darting between mirrors. The SUV closed in behind us, gaining fast. "Listen to me," the driver said, voice cutting through the chaos with sudden clarity. "There's something inside that wallet you brought tonight. Something they can't let you deliver. They can't let you leave this airport with it." I stared at the wallet in my lap, my husband's wallet, suddenly feeling like it was burning my hands. "What's in it?" I whispered. The driver's jaw clenched. "You don't want to know. Not right now." "Yes, I do." He hesitated. Just a beat too long. And that silence told me everything. Whatever was inside the wallet wasn't something my husband was supposed to have. Before he could speak again, the SUV rammed the back of our car. I screamed as the sedan fishtailed, skidding dangerously close to a concrete pillar. The driver fought the wheel with both hands. "Hold on, another impact, harder." The SUV was trying to spin us out. My fingers dug into the seat. My heartbeat thundered in my ears. "Why are they doing this?" I cried. "They're not trying to kill you," he shouted back. "They're trying to capture you." The car jolted forward again. "They need you alive." His words made my blood run cold. Alive. Needed. For what? Before I could say anything, the SUV rammed us again, hard enough to snap my head forward. The driver's voice cracked. "Get ready. This is going to get worse before it gets better." And then through the chaos, my phone lit up on the dashboard. Incoming call. Draymond. My husband. Calling at the exact moment men were trying to take me. The driver's eyes widened. "Oh no," he whispered. "Do not answer that." The phone vibrated violently on the dashboard, Draymond's name glowing like a warning. The ringtone cut through the panic, sharp and out of place, as the SUV rammed us again. "Don't answer it," The driver repeated, louder this time. I'm serious. My hand was already moving toward the phone. Instinct. If there was ever a moment I needed my husband, it was now. But the way the driver's eyes widened, full of fear, not anger, froze my fingers mid-reach. Why not? I whispered. It's my husband. That's exactly why, he muttered. Before I could question him, the SUV lunged forward again, hitting us hard enough that the phone slid across the dashboard toward me. I snatched it before it hit the floor. The driver cursed. Ma'am, I'm telling you, put that phone down. The call kept ringing. Draymond incoming call. My voice shook. He might be in trouble. Or, the driver said, jaw tight, he might be the reason you're in trouble. That hit me harder than the car impacts. What does that even mean? I snapped. He didn't answer, because the SUV suddenly tried to cut us off, swerving into our lane. The driver jerked the wheel, narrowly avoiding a side collision. Alarms blared in the distance, airport security reacting to the chase. Listen to me, he said through clenched teeth. They're monitoring communications. If you answer that call, they'll have your location pinned within seconds. They already have my location, I cried. Not precisely, not while you're in my vehicle. My head spun. None of this made sense. And who the hell are you? He didn't look at me, didn't even blink. I'm the only reason you're not in that SUV right now. My stomach dropped. Before I could react, the phone stopped ringing, abruptly. I exhaled shakily. Then it lit up again. One new voicemail. 0 or 3 seconds. Just 3 seconds. The driver groaned. Don't play it. But something in me snapped. Fear, anger, confusion. A need for even one answer in this nightmare. I put the phone on speaker. The message played immediately. My husband's voice came through. Low, urgent, breathless. Don't trust the driver. My entire body went cold. The message ended. Silence exploded inside the car. The driver's hands tightened around the wheel so hard, I thought he'd snap it in half. He didn't look surprised. He didn't look offended. He looked resigned. Okay, he murmured. Guess we're doing this now. Doing what? I demanded, pulse pounding. His voice dropped into a tone I hadn't heard before. Dark, steady, almost fatalistic. Choosing which lie you want to survive. The SUV rammed us again, hard. Sparks flew as the sedan scraped a barrier. The driver swore. Damn it, they're trying to force us into the lower terminal tunnel. Why? I shouted. Because that tunnel has no cameras. Cold terror flooded my chest. And no witnesses, he added. The SUV rammed us one final time, sending us skidding toward the dark ramp leading down. The driver grabbed my arm, eyes burning into mine. You need to decide right now, he said. Do you trust the voicemail or me? The car spun. Tires screamed. The tunnel entrance loomed ahead, dark and waiting. And the last thing I heard before we crossed the threshold was the driver whispering, Your husband is lying to you. The sedan skidded over the lip of the ramp, tires shrieking as we slid down into the darkness of the lower terminal tunnel. The moment we crossed the threshold, everything changed. The light vanished. The noise vanished. Even the air felt colder, thicker. The SUV followed us in, its headlights slicing through the empty tunnel like twin blades. The driver fought the wheel, the car fishtailing violently before straightening. Keep your head down, he snapped. I ducked instinctively as the SUV's lights flooded the rear window. My heart pounded so hard it felt like it was bruising my ribs. My husband's 3-second message kept replaying in my mind. Don't trust the driver. And then the driver's last words, before we entered the tunnel. Your husband is lying to you. Both statements couldn't be true, but both felt true. The sedan sped deeper into the tunnel, concrete walls racing past, fluorescent lights flickering intermittently like dying stars. We can't outrun them down here, the driver muttered. Then why come here? Because, he said, gripping the wheel tighter. This is the last place they expect me to corner them. Corner them? I shouted. They're chasing us! He smirked, a tiny, unsettling smirk that didn't match the chaos. Are they? I froze. Before I could ask anything else, he flicked off his headlights. The tunnel swallowed us whole. Only the SUV's beams illuminated the darkness behind us. Are you crazy? I hissed. Quiet, he ordered. The sedan drifted left, hugging the shadowed wall. Our car vanished into darkness, completely invisible except for the faint hum of the engine. The SUV thundered past us, speeding ahead. Too fast, assuming we were still running. They can't see us, he whispered. They overshot. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. Then the driver exhaled shakily. Okay, 30 seconds. We have 30 seconds before they realize we're not ahead of them. 30 seconds for what? He reached into his jacket. Every muscle in my body tensed. Don't, I whispered. Don't pull out a weapon, please. He didn't pull out a weapon. He pulled out a slim rectangular device. Black, smooth, with two blinking lights. I stared at it. What is that? A signal disruptor, he said. It blocks tracking. And why do you have that? He looked at me then, really looked at me. His eyes were tired, haunted, but not hostile. Because protecting you is part of my job. My stomach dropped. That's not possible, I whispered. I don't even know you. He hesitated, just long enough to scare me. Then he said, You're not supposed to. Before I could react, the SUV's brake lights flared far ahead. They had realized. They were reversing, fast. The driver slammed the device into the cup holder, grabbed my wrist, and shoved something small into my hand. The wallet? I breathed. No, he said. What's inside the wallet? My fingers closed around something thin, metallic, and warm. I lifted it just enough to see a key. Not a house key, not a car key. A security key card with a red stripe and a single word. Authorized. My voice cracked. What? What is this? He didn't answer directly. Instead, he said, This is why they need you alive. The SUV's engine roared as they sped back toward us. I shook my head, panic rising. What does this have to do with my husband? The driver's expression changed, tightening with something like regret. Your husband, he said quietly, never should have had access to this. My heart dropped into my stomach. Access to what? He swallowed hard. To the files he stole. The word echoed through me like a crack of thunder. The SUV barreled toward us. The driver threw the car into gear. Hold the key tight, he ordered. Because that little card in your hand, it's worth more than either of our lives. The sedan lurched forward, tires screaming as we shot out of the shadows and back into the dimly lit tunnel lane. Behind us, the SUV tore after us like a beast awakened. No hesitation, no fear, just pure, violent intent. I clutched the keycard so tightly the edges bit into my palm. Tell me what he stole, I demanded, my voice shaking but sharper than before. Tell me why they're chasing me instead of him. The driver didn't answer immediately. His jaw clenched, his knuckles white on the steering wheel. The tunnel lights flickered overhead, white, then yellow, then darkness, then white again, each flash illuminating a different terror in my reflection on the window. He wasn't supposed to know about the files, the driver finally said, voice low, and he definitely wasn't supposed to know about the key. My husband? I pressed. What does he have to do with any of this? A bitter breath left him. He made himself a threat. To who? To the people your father warned him never to cross. I froze. My father died when I was 16, I whispered. What are you talking about? The driver didn't look at me. He kept his eyes forward, scanning every corner of the tunnel. Your father, he said, left behind things you were meant to inherit. Not money, not property, information. I felt the air knock out of me. No, I said. That's not possible. My father was a hotel developer, a businessman. That's what the world was told, the driver said, not who he really was. The SUV's headlights grew larger in the mirror. 10 seconds away, maybe less. The driver continued, You weren't meant to learn any of this until your 32nd birthday. But your husband got curious. He wanted answers. He wanted power. And he found it? I whispered. No, he said. He found the wrong people instead. A chill crawled up the base of my spine. What did he steal? I begged. Tell me. He shot me a quick, dark glance. Your father's encrypted file vault. Every secret, every account, every name he ever protected. Everything the world was never allowed to see. My lips parted in horror. And the key card? It unlocks it? Not just unlocks it, he said. It activates it. You're the only one who can do that. It's DNA linked. The car jolted hard as he swerved around a fallen traffic cone. Your husband thought he could use you, use your access, to take everything for himself. I felt sick. He planned all this, I whispered. He set me up. The driver's voice softened, just barely. He planned something worse than that. The SUV rammed us from behind. Metal shrieked. The whole sedan jerked forward. I screamed. The driver regained control instantly, his body moving with frightening precision. They're not here to kidnap you, he said. Not anymore. My blood iced over. What are they here to do? I whispered. He didn't hesitate. Erase the last loose end your husband left behind. I felt the world tilt. Me. I was the loose end. The sedan shot out of the tunnel and into the open night air. The airport's runway lights glittered far ahead like a distant constellation. And then, just as the SUV burst out behind us, the driver shouted, "Hold on!" He yanked the wheel hard. The sedan swerved across the service road and plunged down a restricted access lane. A sign flashed past so quickly I barely registered it. Authorized personnel only. Federal Operations Zone. My breath caught. Is this safe? I shouted. No, he said. But it's the only place they can't follow us without exposing themselves. The SUV skidded to a stop at the lane's entrance, unable to proceed. For one blissful second, I felt relief. But then the driver whispered something that made my blood run cold. They won't give up. Not tonight. He glanced at me, eyes narrowing on the keycard in my shaking hand. And they won't stop until they get that key. The night swallowed us as we sped deeper into the restricted zone, and I realized something terrifying. The real story hadn't even started yet. The restricted zone swallowed us whole. An expanse of silent warehouses, dark service roads, and towering security fences that looked like the spine of some sleeping metal beast. The sedan's engine echoed in the emptiness, every sound too loud, too sharp. The SUV had been forced to stop, but the driver didn't relax. Not even for a heartbeat. They'll try another route, he muttered. Or send someone else. I hugged the keycard tight, my pulse stuttering. You still haven't told me, I said, voice trembling. Why my husband was willing to risk everything. Why he stole my father's files. The driver exhaled through his teeth, as if weighing a truth that hurt to speak. He wasn't just desperate for money. He wanted leverage. Leverage for what? To get out of the deal he made. My stomach flipped. What deal? He glanced at me. The faint glow from the dashboard lit only half his face, casting the rest in shadow. The kind of deal you don't walk away from alive. I swallowed hard. But why involve me? Why try to hurt me? Because you're the heir, he said. Your father's bloodline gives you automatic access to everything Draymond wanted. The restricted zone swallowed us whole. An expanse of silent warehouses, dark service roads, and towering security fences that looked like the spine of some sleeping metal beast. The sedan's engine echoed in the emptiness, every sound too loud, too sharp. The SUV had been forced to stop, but the driver didn't relax. Not even for a heartbeat. They'll try another route, he muttered. Or send someone else. I hugged the keycard tight, my pulse stuttering. You still haven't told me, I said, voice trembling. Why my husband was willing to risk everything. Why he stole my father's files. The driver exhaled through his teeth, as if weighing a truth that hurt to speak. He wasn't just desperate for money. He wanted leverage. Leverage for what? To get out of the deal he made. My stomach flipped. What deal? He glanced at me. The faint glow from the dashboard lit only half his face, casting the rest in shadow. The kind of deal you don't walk away from alive. I swallowed hard. But why involve me? Why try to hurt me? Because you're the heir, he said. Your father's bloodline gives you automatic access to everything Draymond wanted. And the keycard? Only works for you, he murmured. Your DNA, your biometrics, your signature. I felt dizzy. So he married me for access? For access, the driver said bitterly. And protection. Being your husband put him on sacred ground, untouchable ground, the same way your father once was. Thunder rumbled somewhere in the distance, a low, rolling growl that vibrated through the ground. We passed a security checkpoint, the gate rising automatically, when the driver held up a badge I hadn't seen before. "Who are you?" I whispered. His jaw tensed, but before he could answer, a crackle of static filled the car. My breath froze. The sound was coming from my husband's phone inside my purse. The driver's head snapped around. "Where did you get that?" I grabbed my purse before I left the house. I didn't know his phone was inside. "Answer it," the driver ordered sharply. "Put it on speaker. Don't say a word." My hand shook as I unlocked the screen. One open call, still connected. From almost half an hour ago. Caller ID. Unknown. The line carried faint, muffled voices. At first, just static. Then a man's chuckle. My husband's. "She bought it," Draymond's voice said, casual and cold. "She always buys it. God, she's so predictable." My throat closed. Another voice, female this time, laughed lightly. "Kenyatta." "She really left the house alone? At that hour?" "Of course she did," Draymond replied. "I told her I lost my wallet. She practically sprinted out the door. She's always been too eager to please." My pulse hammered like a fist against my ribs. The driver's expression darkened. "It doesn't matter if the guy grabs her or not," Draymond continued. "The narrative is the same either way. She vanishes, no struggle, no suspects." Kenyatta hummed. "And the insurance?" "Activated last week. After tonight, I'm a free man." A soft kiss. Their kiss. I felt my heart shatter all over again. But this time, the pain was quieter, colder, sharper. Then Kenyatta spoke, her voice dropping into a whisper, dripping with venom. "And what about the files? The vault?" Draymond answered. "The driver will get it off her. He doesn't know she's not supposed to survive tonight." The world tilted. I nearly dropped the phone. The driver's face froze, jaw tightening, eyes widening in a flash of realization. He whispered, almost to himself, "They think I'm working with them." A loud beep suddenly blared across the phone line. A new voice, deep, unfamiliar, commanding, cut in. "Change of plan. Leave the airport. We're going to finish this at the secondary site." Draymond. "What? Why?" The new voice. "Because the asset is still alive." Draymond. "She can't be. She would have—" The voice thundered. "She is! And if you want your share, you'll help finish it." The call ended. Silence filled the car. A heavy, suffocating silence. I lifted my head slowly. The driver wasn't looking at me anymore. He was staring straight ahead, eyes sharp, focused, full of fire. "They just changed their plan," he said. "Why?" I whispered. He gripped the wheel harder. "Because whatever happens next, they're coming here." My pulse spiked. "What do we do?" His voice dropped into a cold, steel tone I had not heard before. "We disappear before they arrive." The sedan accelerated deeper into the restricted zone, farther from everything I knew, farther from safety, farther from the life I once believed was real. But even as fear surged through me, there was something else building inside my chest. Not weakness, not grief. Something harder, sharper, rising like heat from within resolve. The driver glanced at the keycard in my hand. "Hold on to that," he said, "with your life." Then the headlights illuminated something up ahead, something massive and unfamiliar. And the driver whispered, "We're here." The sedan rolled to a stop in front of a colossal steel door embedded in the ground like the lid of a buried giant. No markings, no signs, just a keypad, a biometric scanner, and a slot the exact shape of the keycard in my hand. A cold breeze swept across the empty lot, carrying the faint smell of ozone and machine oil. The driver cut the engine. For a moment, we sat in the darkness. Just our breathing, the ticking of cooling metal, and the crushing knowledge that we were minutes ahead of people who wanted me dead. He turned to me. "Listen carefully," he said. "Once we scan your card, the vault will recognize you. Only you." My grip tightened. "Recognize me for what?" His jaw shifted. "For everything your father never told you." A chill raced through me. "What are you talking about?" He didn't answer. Instead, he stepped out into the night, motioning for me to follow. My legs trembled as I joined him. The steel door reflected our silhouettes, two small, fragile outlines against something impenetrable. He pointed to the scanner. "Go on." I swallowed and stepped forward. The moment the card slid into the slot, a deep, mechanical hum vibrated through the ground. Lights flickered on, one by one, in a slow circle around the door, glowing an eerie white blue. Then a female voice spoke, cool and synthetic. "Biometric initialization required. Present primary user." The driver nodded. "Give it your palm." My hand shook as I pressed it to the scanner. A warm pulse traveled up my arm, like a heartbeat that wasn't mine. The machine paused. Analyzing, processing, accepting. Then the voice murmured, "Primary user confirmed, Eliana Dre." My breath caught in my throat. "That's my full name," I whispered. "Only my father ever used it." The driver's expression softened, briefly, like he was remembering something painful. "I know," he said quietly. "This place was built for you." Before I could ask what he meant, the massive steel door began to split, slowly, heavily, parting down the middle. A gust of cold, recycled air washed over us. Inside wasn't a vault. It was a facility. A whole underground complex stretching so far downward, I couldn't see the bottom. Rows of lights, illuminating platforms, elevators, and walkways built into the walls like some kind of hidden world. I stumbled back. What is this place?" The driver stepped beside me. "This," he said, voice low, "is the archive your father died protecting, the one your husband spent 3 years trying to infiltrate." I stared into the depths below, heart hammering. "My father died in a car accident." The driver exhaled slowly. "That's what you were told." A knot tightened in my chest. "What really happened?" He turned to face me fully, his eyes reflecting the dim white glow of the vault lights. "Eliana, your father didn't die in an accident. He was killed. And the files you're carrying?" He nodded toward the keycard, still glowing faintly in the scanner. "They're the reason." A wave of nausea rolled through me. "Killed. For this place. For me." My voice came out choked. "My husband knew?" "He orchestrated half of it," the driver said. "And the people coming right now? They finished the other half." I staggered. The air felt thin. Too thin. "So what do they want from me now?" He didn't hesitate. "Your access, your bloodline, and once they get that, your silence." The steel door completed its opening with a final thunderous click. We were out of time. Sirens suddenly echoed in the distance, multiple engines approaching fast. The driver grabbed my wrist. "Down the elevator," he ordered. "Now!" "But, Eliana, move!" I sprinted with him toward the lift platform, the metallic clang of our footsteps echoing into the cavernous depths. As we stepped onto it, the sound of screeching tires tore through the night above. "They're here." The driver slammed his palm onto the control panel. The platform shuddered, then dropped, descending into the secret world my father died to hide. But before the doors sealed overhead, I heard a familiar voice calling out across the surface, my husband's. "Eliana!" The doors slammed shut. Darkness swallowed us. Then the platform continued dropping, deeper, faster, into the secrets I was never meant to know. The platform plunged downward, air rushing past us, lights streaking upward like falling stars in reverse. My heart slammed against my ribs, a frantic, uneven rhythm. Above us, muffled shouts echoed. His voice, my husband's, closer than he should have been. Far closer. The driver stood perfectly still, one hand hovering over the emergency controls, eyes fixed on the descending levels passing by. "How did he get here so fast?" I whispered. He didn't look at me. "Because he knew where you'd run once the keycard activated the vault." My stomach twisted. "You told me they couldn't follow us." "I said they shouldn't," he corrected. "But he's desperate, and desperate men get sloppy." A chime echoed, soft, unsettling. We were nearing the first landing. The driver immediately hit another panel, fingers flying over keys in a rapid, practiced sequence. "What are you doing?" I breathed. "Scrambling the lift's tracking signal," he said. "If he jumps onto another platform, he won't know which level we stopped on." Another chime. The platform decelerated sharply, sending me stumbling. He caught my arm, steadying me with a grip firm enough to anchor a hurricane. "We're getting off here," he said. The doors slid open with a hiss. Cold air swept in, sterile, metallic, tinged with ozone. The corridor beyond was dimly lit, lined with sleek black walls. Symbols, ones I didn't recognize, glowed faint blue along the floor. I hesitated. "Where does this level lead?" "Sector 1, he said. "Your father's private archives." A tremor ran through me. My father had a private. "Yes," he cut in softly. "And you're the only person alive who can open it." Before I could respond, the platform suddenly lurched. We both turned. The lift was rising, on its own. The driver swore under his breath. "That means someone overrode the controls from above." My pulse spiked. "He found us." "No," the driver said grimly. "He found the lift." I took a breath that tasted like panic. "What do we do?" He stepped into the corridor, nodding for me to follow. "We move, fast. We need to reach the archive room before he reaches this level." The steel doors sealed shut behind us. A faint humming vibration filled the hall, like machines just waking up after years of sleep. As we walked deeper, the blue floor symbols brightened with each of my steps, like the vault was reacting to me. I swallowed hard. "Why do they do that?" "They're reading your genetic markers," he said. "Your father encoded them into the system, so only his bloodline could access the inner sectors." The walls around us pulsed faintly, almost like a heartbeat. The deeper we went, the stronger the hum grew. Then, the hallway widened into a circular chamber, massive, empty, silent. Except for the door. A towering door made of black glass and titanium alloy, veins of neon blue pulsing within it like frozen lightning. Etched at the center was a symbol, a sigil, my father's. I froze. "I've seen this before," I whispered. "On a necklace he gave me when I was a child." The driver nodded. "He wasn't protecting you from the world, Eliana. He was protecting the world from what's in here." My fingers trembled as I stepped closer to the door. "What exactly is inside?" His voice lowered. "The files your father collected over 30 years. Evidence, names, secrets, even the identities of the people who killed him." A chill ripped through me. "And the people coming after us now," he added, "can't let you see any of it." Before I could answer, a loud metallic clang echoed from the corridor behind us. The sound was distant, but getting closer. The driver stiffened. "He's here." My blood turned to ice. "Open the door," he said urgently. "Now, place the keycard into the panel." I stepped toward the glowing console beside the door, my hand shaking as I lifted the card. But just as I brought it to the slot, a voice echoed from the corridor behind us. Familiar, cold, controlled. "Eliana, step away from the door." I froze. The driver cursed under his breath, positioning himself between me and the corridor. Heavy footsteps approached. Then he appeared. my husband. But not the man I married. Not the charming, steady, warm presence I thought I knew. His expression was calm, almost gentle, but his eyes, empty, calculated, obsessed. He took one slow step forward. "You're not supposed to be down here," he said softly. "Not yet." My throat constricted. Everything in me wanted to scream, to run, to collapse. Instead, all I managed was a whisper. "You lied to me." He smiled. I had to. His gaze slid to the keycard in my hand. "Now, come here." The driver shifted, ready to fight, but my husband lifted a small remote device, sleek, black, blinking red. A detonator. "If either of you takes one more step," he said quietly, "this entire level goes up in flames." The room fell silent. A soft hum. A glowing door. A detonator. Two men. And me, caught between the life I lived and the truth my father died for. My husband lowered the device slightly. "Eliana," he said gently, "give me the key. You were never meant to carry it." My heart pounded so loud I could barely hear my own breathing, but my voice, thin, trembling, found its way out. "You killed my father." His expression didn't change. Not even a flicker. I did what had to be done. The driver lunged, a flash, a beep, a blast. The world erupted. Darkness swallowed me whole. A wave of heat slammed into me. Violent, blinding, crushing. I didn't know if I screamed. I didn't know if I fell. All I knew was impact. Concrete. Metal. Silence. A ringing sound filled my skull, loud enough to drown my thoughts. The world was spinning, my vision nothing but streaks of white and static. Then, a hand grabbed my arm. Not rough, not harmful, urgent. I tried to speak, but my throat felt full of smoke. The driver's voice drifted through the ringing, distant, distorted, but unmistakably alive. "Eliana, hey, look at me, stay awake." I forced my eyes open. The chamber was filled with a fog of dust and sparks, but the explosion hadn't leveled the room. A large blast panel had shot up from the floor, shielding us. The driver must have hit the emergency override. He was coughing, blood streaking down from his forehead, but he was still focused on me. "You're okay," he said, gripping my shoulders. "You're okay." I blinked, vision clearing in blurry fragments. "What happened?" He glanced toward the far end of the room. "Your husband triggered a directional blast. It was aimed behind us. He didn't want to destroy the archive door. He wanted to kill me." My breath hitched. "And you?" A cold dread curled inside me. The driver helped me sit up. Dust rained softly from the ceiling. The humming lights flickered, but stayed on. "Where is he?" I managed. The driver's jaw tightened. "Gone." The blast forced him back into the corridor. "He's regrouping." "No," I rasped. "He'll come back." "He will," the driver said. "And next time, he won't bluff." My hands shook uncontrollably. The driver reached toward me, checking my pulse, my pupils. Quick, efficient movements. "You're concussed," he said. "Not bad. You're still aware. But we have minutes before he returns." He helped me to my feet. The massive archive door still pulsed with a soft blue glow. Untouched. Waiting. Like it knew I'd be back. I stared at it, and something in me shifted. Fear didn't vanish. It transformed. "We open it," I said, my voice steadier than I felt. The driver paused, eyes narrowing. "You're sure?" "I need answers," I breathed. "Everything. My father, my husband, this place, the files." "And," I swallowed hard, "I need to know why everyone thinks I'm the key." He studied me for a long moment, really studied me, as if seeing something in me he wasn't expecting. Then he nodded. "Then we open it." I raised the keycard again, blood still smeared on the edges. My palm hovered over the biometric pad. But, before I could place it down, the overhead speakers crackled. Static. Then my husband's voice poured through every corner of the chamber. calm, chillingly composed. Eliana, he said softly, this is your last chance. The driver stiffened beside me. I don't want to hurt you, my husband continued. Not if I don't have to. But you cannot open that door. You are not prepared for what's behind it. I'm trying to protect you. I felt a bitter laugh rise in my throat. Protect me. After everything. His voice lowered, colder. And that man standing next to you. He's lying to you. He's not a savior. He's not a guardian. Ask him what his real orders were. The driver's jaw clenched. My heart pounded. Orders? My husband's tone grew softer. Too soft. Eliana, put the card down. Step away. Come to me. Silence fell. The driver spoke first, voice low but steady. Don't listen to him. I turned toward him slowly. Is it true? I asked, barely above a whisper. You have orders? He didn't deny it. Not immediately. His silence was an answer all on its own. My chest tightened. What were they? I asked, voice cracking. What were you supposed to do to me? The driver took a step closer, hands raised slightly, not to threaten, but to calm. Eliana, I was assigned to extract you before your husband did, to bring you to the archive, to keep you alive, at any cost. And after the archive is opened? I asked. What then? He hesitated just long enough to terrify me. I don't know, it wasn't a lie. And somehow that made it worse. A new voice cut through the speakers, my husband's last warning. 10 seconds, Eliana. Then I come down there. My pulse erupted into panic. The driver stepped beside me. Eliana, we open the door now. My husband's voice grew sharper. Eliana, don't! My hand hovered inches above the scanner. 2 men, 2 truths, 2 dangers, 1 door, 1 key, 1 choice. I pressed my palm to the scanner. The archive door roared to life. A shockwave of cold air burst outward as the archive door awakened, like the vault exhaled for the first time in decades. The glowing veins in the metal brightened. Blue, white, gold. The lights along the walls dimmed, rerouting all power toward the door as it rumbled open piece by piece. A tremor ran beneath my feet. Behind me, the speakers crackled violently. My husband's voice snapped through. No calm now, no control. Eliana, stop! Do not open that door. But it was too late. A final metallic thunk echoed, the sound of ancient locking bolts disengaging. The door parted, and the room beyond revealed itself. A cylindrical chamber, dim, silent, walls covered in layered holographic interfaces waiting to power on. A single elevated platform stood at the center like an altar, and on it, a thin black metal case with my father's sigil engraved deep into its surface. I took a breath that trembled through my entire body. My father? I whispered. The driver stepped beside me, eyes scanning the room with urgency and reverence. This is it, he murmured. The core. Everything your father protected. Behind us, a metallic crash shook the outer hall. My husband was breaking through. We didn't have long. Go, the driver urged, pushing me gently toward the platform. Open the case. You're the only one who can. I moved, each step echoing through the chamber. My fingers hovered over the lid. It sensed me, just like the vault had. A soft vibration hummed beneath my hand. Biometric signature confirmed. User, Eliana Dre, accessing primary archive. The lid unlocked with a whisper. And inside, not files, not papers, not drives, but a device, small, sleek, a crystalline core pulsing faint golden white in its center. A memory capsule. My breath caught. What? What is this? The driver approached quickly. It's your father's final archive, his final message, his final warning. Before I could respond, a second crash, louder, closer. Then a shout. Eliana! My husband. The driver grabbed my wrist, urgency slicing through his voice. Take the capsule. I lifted it from the case. It was warm, almost alive. The moment I touched it, something flashed in the chamber's lights, a projection attempting to form. But before it could, the outer door slammed open. I spun. My husband stood there, dust-covered, breathing hard, eyes burning with a desperation far more terrifying than anger. He held a gun. The detonator device dangled from his other hand, thumb poised over the trigger. Eliana, he said, voice cracking in a way I had never heard. Put it down. I shook my head, backing onto the platform. No, his voice broke. You don't understand what you're holding. The driver moved subtly between us, but my husband raised the gun instantly. Move, and I blow this entire level to hell. The room went still. My husband stepped forward, gaze locked on the capsule in my hands. That device, he said, breath shaking, contains enough information to burn governments, agencies, entire syndicates to the ground. Your father wasn't a hero. He wasn't protecting you. He was keeping you ignorant. My chest tightened. You're lying. He flinched, not at the accusation, but at something deeper. Ileana, listen to me. He swallowed hard. I didn't want you to inherit this. Your father's life, his enemies, his war. I did everything I could to shield you from it. My throat tightened. By killing him? His jaw clenched. His eyes glistened, just slightly. He gave you up to protect this archive, he said softly. He chose secrets over you. He always chose secrets. My vision swam. No, I whispered. The driver's voice cut through, cool, cutting. He's manipulating you. My husband snapped the gun toward him. Another word and I end you. Silence. Then his voice softened again, directed at me. You don't know what your father truly was, Ileana. What he built, what he did in the dark. That capsule can't ever be opened. Not by you, not by anyone. I tightened my grip. Why? I whispered. He looked at me, truly looked at me, with an expression that made my stomach drop. Because once you see what's inside, you'll never come back to the life you had. Footsteps echoed in the corridor. More approaching, not his men, someone else. The driver stiffened. They're here, he whispered. Sector enforcement. My husband's eyes widened, panic flooding his face. He surged toward me. Eliana, give me the cap. But I didn't let him finish. Instinct took over. I lifted the capsule, slammed it into the platform's data port, and the chamber erupted in golden light. Screens crackled alive around us. Holograms bloomed midair. A voice filled the room. My father's voice. I froze. So did my husband. The driver stared in shock. Then the projection sharpened, and my father's recorded voice said, calm and heavy with finality. If you're hearing this, Eliana, they found you. My heart stopped. The golden light intensified. My father continued. And the man you trust most is the one who led them there. My husband whispered, Eliana, wait. But the message continued. Do not believe his story. He wasn't protecting you. He was protecting them. The light pulsed once, and the entire archive began unlocking. Every secret, every file, every truth. My husband screamed my name. I stood frozen, surrounded by the legacy I was never meant to inherit, and the world I thought I knew collapsed in a single, shattering moment. The chamber was drowning in gold. Files unfolded into the air like weightless pages, each one glowing with my father's sigil. Static crackled across the interfaces. The holograms flickered. Faces, maps, encrypted strings of data racing along the walls like falling stars. My father's voice, steady, sorrowful, filled every corner of the room. If you're here, Eliana, then the one standing closest to you has already betrayed you. My husband took a step forward, panic tearing through his voice. Eliana, listen to me. The driver lifted a hand in warning. Don't move! My husband snapped the gun toward him again, hand trembling. You don't understand what you're doing, he snarled. You don't know what that message is. You don't know what he's capable of, even from the grave. But the chamber wasn't listening. It was fully awake now. The platform pulsed under my feet, threads of light connecting the capsule to the walls, the ceiling, the floor. My father's voice continued. I tried to shield you from the world I was part of, from the power we held, from the ones who would kill to claim it. A series of faces flashed in the holograms, people in suits, uniforms, masks. Some I recognized from the news, some I didn't. Then, a final face, one that made my blood run cold. My husband's. My father's voice hardened. And the man beside you was raised by them, trained by them, groomed to marry you, to infiltrate everything I built. I staggered back as if slapped. My husband's face collapsed into something raw and devastated. No, Eliana, it wasn't like that. But the message was still flowing. He was never meant to love you. My heart hammered. My husband froze, eyes wide, breath hitching. Something in his expression fractured. My father finished. He was meant to deliver you. My husband screamed over the recording. I didn't deliver you. Damn it. I tried to save you. His voice cracked violently. And your father knew that. He knew I broke away from them. He knew I chose you over them. The driver's jaw tightened. Eliana, don't trust him. My husband barked a broken laugh, half a sob, half madness. Of course you would say that. You're a loyal dog to a dead man. He turned to me, eyes burning with something that hurt more than anger. Eliana, listen. I did everything wrong, I know that. But I left the syndicate for you. I wasn't supposed to fall in love with you, but I did. I tried to stop them. I tried to stop all of it. My throat locked painfully. Then why try to destroy the archive? He flinched, staring at the detonator in his hand. Because they will come for you if it exists. That message, those files, paint a target on your back bigger than anything you've ever imagined. He stepped closer, fingers trembling around the gun. That's why your father built me into your life. To watch you, to control you, to keep you obedient and blind. But I fell in love with you instead, and that, he pointed the detonator at the glowing archive, is why he turned me into the enemy. My hands shook so violently, I nearly dropped the capsule. My father's message shifted. His hologram looking older, tired, regret carved into every line. If you are hearing this, I failed you in many ways. More than you will ever know. My breath caught. He hadn't sounded like this when he was alive. He had never sounded small. My father continued. And I did not protect you from the one threat I never saw coming. Both men stiffened. Another face appeared in the hologram. A woman, cold eyes, dark hair, a faint scar across her temple. My blood froze. Your mother. The chamber fell silent. The driver's eyes widened in horror. My husband exhaled like he'd been punched. And me? I felt the world tilt beneath my feet. My mother. Dead for years. Buried with a funeral of black flags and endless flowers. The hologram sharpened. My father's voice dropped to a whisper. She's not dead, Eliana. She never was. And she will come for you. A pulse of golden light burst from the center of the room, flooding the walls with encrypted maps and coordinates. The lights flickered. The floor trembled. Outside in the corridor, boots thundered in unison. Heavy, armored, dozens of them. Sector enforcement, the driver hissed. They've reached the vault. My husband swore under his breath. Then he looked at me, really looked at me, and his voice fell to a broken whisper. Eliana, if you stay here, they will take you to her. My heart pounded against my ribs. The archive lights strobed, and behind them, the projection of my mother smiled. Slow, cold, beautiful, terrifying. Footsteps neared the chamber's entrance. My husband turned toward the door, raising the gun. The driver stepped in front of me. My mother's hologram stared straight into my soul. Run! The chamber light snapped to red, and the door behind us blew open.